So a one-pan dinner, or sheet pan dinner if you want to call it that, is a simple way to make great food with less mess. And on that pan, we're gonna have chicken thighs and we're gonna have some great veggies with seasoning on everything. So let's go ahead and get started with these Brussels sprouts. Now don't go hating on the Brussels sprouts, but if you don't like them, substitute something else you like. For me though, these are fantastic, especially when you roast them and they get a little bit of that crispness on them. So what I wanna do is just slice these in half, like that. And I'm leaving the stem end on because if you cut this off, a lot of the outer leaves will fall off of this. And we want to keep those on, and you can cut that stem off at serving or on the plate. And these Brussels sprouts are all different sizes, but they will cook through plenty. All right, let's move on to some golden beets. So I have a few golden beets here, and first thing we need to do is peel these. I'm gonna take my potato peeler and get that outer skin off. It's a little more challenging when they're small like this. If you can get larger golden beets, they're much easier to peel. Just cut this little end off here. Now I just wanna slice these into pieces like that, maybe a 1/4 inch thick, just like that. All right, I'm gonna get the other golden beets cut up and then we're gonna season our veggies. So I have a bowl here, I just wanna get my veggies in here. Now, also, we are gonna be adding some red onion wedges to this, but not seasoning them. They're just gonna go on the pan with everything else. I don't wanna season those, I just love the flavor of those on their own. Get a little olive oil on here. Good pinch of kosher salt. Good pinch of cracked black pepper. Let's mix everybody together. All right, that's looking good. Let's move on to getting our chicken ready. So for our chicken, we're gonna be making some seasoning. And we're gonna start with 1/2 teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. I'm using an ancho chili powder, but use your favorite. A teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of a coarsely ground black pepper, and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Mix these together here. And to this, I'm gonna add probably 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Get that mixed into a nice little paste. Just like that. Let's get our chicken out here. So I've got 8 bone-in chicken thighs here, and what I wanna do is clean these up a little bit, because you can see there's some really big pieces of skin that have just kind of hanging off there. And I do have my synthetic cutting board out here because it's much easier to clean of all the chicken juices than the wood cutting board. And as I trim these up, what I'm gonna do is put them in that same bowl that the veggies were in. So if you're gonna do this, kind of save some cleanup, use the same bowl, but do the veggies first. Don't do the chicken and then the veggies. This is also a good time to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Also, any extra little bits of fat like this, you can trim those off. Got our chicken in our bowl here, and we're just gonna get our seasoning paste out on here. And we're just gonna get in here, toss everybody around, get good coverage on here. Make sure everybody gets some good seasoning. All right, that's looking good. Let's get our sheet pan out here and get everybody on. So I have my sheet pan out here. My oven is just about done preheating to 425. Let's build this by starting with our chicken pieces. And I mentioned those red onion wedges, like that, where they're still all together. I'm gonna put some of these around here. Just scatter some pieces about. Now our golden beets. And don't worry about crowding in here. Things can touch. Now, Brussels sprouts. Yeah, I know. If you don't like Brussels sprouts, try this. Slice them thin, fry them up with some bacon. Bacon makes everything better, but really with Brussels sprouts, they're fantastic. But I like Brussels sprouts just like this, nice and roasted with a little seasoning. I used to hate Brussels sprouts when I was a kid. I don't know. Grew up and started loving them. All right, let's get this in the oven. It's gonna go for 30 minutes and then I'll check the temperature of the chicken. Every oven is different. You'll have to check and see when your doneness level is there. I like mine between 175 and 185 on chicken thighs. So it could take 30 minutes, could take 45 minutes, could take 25 minutes. It's really dependent upon the oven. So I'll see you back here when our one pan chicken and veggies dish is done. All right, here is our one pan chicken and veggies. It is just looking great. The smell that comes from this about 5 or 10 minutes after you put it in the oven, those red onions really get aromatic. It's just fantastic. Now this took about 40 minutes till I hit that 180-degree temperature, which I like on thighs. That's kind of between 175, 185. Really, you just need to get them above 165 for safety, but I like thighs at a higher temperature. Let's go ahead and dish some up and have a taste. Get one of our thighs here. Some of these amazing golden beets. Our Brussels sprouts. These wonderful, really delicious red onions. Let's dive in and have a taste. I'm gonna start with some of these golden beets because these are my favorite. There is just such a nice flavored sweetness to these when they're roasted. You can do the same with red beets, but I prefer golden beets, just fantastic. Now for some Brussels sprouts. Just a little seasoning on those and some good heat is all it takes. I love those, but again, if you don't like Brussels sprouts, substitute something else in, some broccoli, some cauliflower, whatever you like. Now some red onion. Again, great sweetness released when you roast that. Now, some chicken thigh. Oh, look at that. Cheers. Simple seasoning, 40 minutes to cook. To me, that's why chicken thighs are my favorite piece to cook of the bird. Great flavor in it, great juiciness, accepts seasoning really well. In fact, you could use any seasoning you want on this. You don't have to follow mine. You could use a barbecue rub. You could use salt and pepper and garlic powder. Anything you want, it's gonna turn out terrific.